Rattray, the CEO of Vinanz PLC. Huey, it's great to be catching up with you again. We said we would after the wrap close. So you raised in total £3.5 million. So how are you feeling about that, first of all? What was the appetite like amongst the investors?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great result, I think, given where we are and and kind of where we want to go. It was I think alongside our expectation of the wrap.
Okay.
We went initially for $1 million, but we were very hopeful of more. And definitely on that final day on Monday, a lot of money came trickling in.
Right. So there's clearly a lot of interest then in Bitcoin treasury companies at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely the hot sector, right? And
yeah.
Liquidity across the board really shows that. And, I think we've got some catching up to do in terms of sentiment around us in comparison to our peers. But I think this raise definitely puts us on the front foot when it comes to that.
Okay. So, does this change your strategy at all? I know the strategy was shifting effectively to a Bitcoin first treasury company in London on the main board of the London Stock Exchange. So I'm guessing that this backs that up and you'll look to carry that on, go again. I don't know.
Yeah. So our first cap raise about a month ago when we announced the policy, we took $2 million of that and bought 16.9 Bitcoin. But this cap raise here, 3.6 million pounds, 5 million US roughly, allows us to kind of validate, our plan a lot more and actually go in much deeper than we originally were.
Right. Okay. And how quickly will you look to deploy it and, effectively buy Bitcoin into your treasury?
So most of the wrap funds settle on Friday. So we should receive the proceeds from that wrap on Friday. There's a little bit remaining that will settle Tuesday next week. But yeah, like I kind of outlined in our previous interview, like the intention is to get on the dance floor as quickly as possible and buy the Bitcoin as quickly as possible.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We kind of see, not being in competition with our peers, but we see the rate that they're growing and the days to cover and the months to cover their NAV, and we want to be competitive there, and we want to do this aggressively.
Okay. So would you consider future raises then, given the sentiment at the moment?
Yeah, I definitely think we're in an arms race right now, and we want to be right up there, and we want to be raising as frequently as possible to buy as much Bitcoin as we possibly can.
Right. Good. And just a question that's come to mind, just thinking on headroom, what you can raise. Are you capped at all? Because I know on the Aquis Exchange, which of course you were on, there is a cap as to what you can actually raise, but it's different. And he also talked, I think last time we spoke, about when you reach a certain threshold, a lot more financing opportunities open up for a company like you.
Yeah, so I think we have around 60% of our 20% headroom left. So we have the permissions to issue. I won't do the numbers in my head right now, but then additionally to that, we can actually loan directors' stock and stock from our employee benefits trust over to cap raises, and we can use that, and then that will be reissued later in a prospectus. But having said that, we are already working on a new prospectus to give us higher dilution permissions, basically.
Okay.
And more details will come out to the market about that. And then in terms of products that allow that we can kind of look into now that we've got we will have a bigger stack of Bitcoin hopefully in the next few days. We definitely want to look at fixed income stuff, Bitcoin backed bonds. I really like the idea of selling put options, around about at these levels today and earning a premium on them throughout the next 6 months. So yeah, we want to look at different ways to kind of, leverage exposure to Bitcoin and kind of give us scope to kind of ride it up.
Okay. Excellent. And of course, this was a London-focused raise. I know you've got your OTC listing as well, and I think an upcoming NASDAQ listing that's definitely on the cards. Would you look to look for raises or to target American investors with future potential raises?
Yeah, so we had like a lot of inbound inquiries from the US after the completion of our wrap. The banker that we previously announced that we signed up, Dominari, are now very keen to move forward. And I think we're kind of, part of our team is all hands on deck preparing our F1, which is like an S1 prospectus, but for foreign issuers on NASDAQ. So yeah, we're hoping to kind of expedite that process and, hopefully have some more to say about it in the next few weeks.
Okay. Good. And just finally then, Huey, just looking at the others in the sector in the UK, of course, we've seen a lot of the, as you say, the peers, really market cap transformation. Vinanz is yet to move. In fact, I think it's down a tiny little bit post the raise here. Maybe the market's waiting for you to announce that you've actually bought that Bitcoin. What do you think's holding you back, or what can you do perhaps to Yeah, to get some more value into the company based on the peers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult question, and I'm literally sleeping like 4 hours a night at the moment because I'm rolling around in bed thinking about, how we fix this issue, right? And I don't want to pretend that it's not an issue. I think what I want to outline next week after we make our Bitcoin purchase with the wrap proceeds is, I want to be fully transparent about our treasury, fully transparent about our MNAV, fully transparent about our days and months to cover our MNAV, and hopefully there's still some value investors left in the market that will look at that and say, wow, perhaps this is the best place for my money in terms of Bitcoin treasury opportunities.
Okay. Well, Huey Rattray, CEO of Vinanz PLC, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.